Well, yeah, I think the first thing we have is really a good group of guys that understand what they're in the middle of, and it didn't take them long to understand that that they had to do certain things that had nothing to do with scoring and the things that they were accustomed to in order to even get on the court to have a chance to score. And Coach Lanier said it best to them and to all of us during the years. It's hard to score points from the bench. And so they knew early on, within the first week or two that they were here, that there's certain standards, one of them obviously defensively, that they were going to have to adhere to. And that's a very difficult thing for a young guy to come in and be very good at. And there are times where we've needed that and have or have not gotten it, and that's got him more minutes, and sometimes it hasn't. And Jamil's a good example, and a guy that's proven that he can score points, and over his career will continue to score points, and hopefully a whole lot of them. But in times that he has not got on the court, it's not been because of that. It's been because of his inexperience or inability at that specific time to do what is necessary on the defensive end. It speaks to our guys and the time and effort and work that they've put in since last August, and when we really started this thing up, and we dared to put that out there to them to be great and to be better than they were, and they've responded. What it significantly means in terms of all that, I don't know, and I won't assess that now. It's not the time nor the place. All it means is that we've had a group that's come together rather quickly in terms of what their common goal is, and that's to win. And fortunately, that's my common goal. And I really, in credit to these guys, they really haven't given me too many times, if any at all, where that mindset hasn't been the same as mine.
Yeah, sure. Could you talk, Dave, a little bit about your difficulties winning away from Charlottesville this year? Why do you think you've had problems, and how big a concern is that, kind of going to a neutral site game Friday?
Well, we've had a whole lot less problems this year than last year, and that means I think we're a better team than we were. I think we're in the same boat as a lot of teams, especially when you play in this league, that it's very, very difficult to win on the road. And as a result, the things that you can rely on sometimes go astray when you're on the road. But the good thing in this case, in this tournament, is that everybody's on the road and everybody's at neutral sites. So hopefully that can minimize some of the things that have hurt us in other people's gyms.
Coach, for those of us who haven't had a chance to watch Sean Singletary day in and day out, can you just tell us what kind of player it is we're going to see on Friday?
Well, ironically, he's probably, if I read and see about Jamar Wilson is true, then they're probably very similar in what they bring to the table. And I know with Sean, it's not just his ability as a basketball player, his skill level, his ability to make shots or make plays, but there's an intangible about him, and I've said it all year long, that makes him special. He has some fight in him that is only reserved for very, very few players. And he brings that, which adds to all the other skills that he's so gifted with. Obviously, at his position, he's very quick, he's fast, he's creative, with his game. But at the same point in time, I think what makes him so good is the fact that he can impart his will on a game as well as anybody that I've been around. I think all year long I've been able to trust JR and Mo and some of the other guys to guard some very good perimeter players. JR's limitations are more, I don't think it really cost him on that end very much. I think, if anything, it's affected his touch. And so I'm confident that if we play good team defense, that person that's guarding, whether it's any one of 3 or 4 or 5 guys, can hopefully do their job and bothering him enough to not have him have the kind of nights that he's capable of having. And he's a terrific player, and obviously he can play a lot of places and in this league. And so we've got to make sure that we do it from a team standpoint first, and then be able to shuffle different guys on him as the game grows older. They take their lead as much emotionally as they do physically from the older guys, and there's an emotional dominance on this team from not just Sean and JR, but from a lot of the older guys, even the ones that don't show up every night on the scorebook. And so it makes it a little bit harder on a day in and day out basis to find your way through that emotionally, to allow your game physically to to present itself, and I think that's something. But again, but I and no disrespect, but I don't look at it in terms of assessing that. I think one of the mistakes that even I can get caught up with is even dealing with last week when we talk about the overall look of the season or anything. We're still shooting this motion picture, and it won't be done until it's done, and then I can make the proper assessments. I don't know that the team that's going to win Thursday, Friday, or continue to win is going to be the team that people factor is hot right now. You got to regroup, and you got to play good basketball, and I think that matters more than how you finish the season. I said it last week before the ACC tournament that if that were the case, then probably Maryland would be the tournament winner because they had won 7 in a row, and other teams were either struggling or trying to figure themselves out. And Maryland went out in the first group of teams, and so I think what you got to be able to do is look at yourself all year long, specifically at the end of the season, and pick out some things that will help you be successful and make sure you do those things well come game time.